Good evening and welcome back to the Suburbs on Sunday show. My name is Bonnie Jensen and I will be your host for this evening. It's very cool to have you guys all here tonight. On the Suburbs on Sunday show, we aim to bring you up close and personal with the faces, the players and the people that make up the wonderful club that is Eastern Suburbs. There'll be insight, interviews and we'll make it all interesting. And each week we welcome your feedback and input. Over lockdown, our Coaching on Demand program was a huge success. So firstly, tonight on the show, we want to look back at some of our Lilywhites absolutely nailing the weekly challenges. Let's have a look. Tonight on the show, we have three very special guests, and whilst they may not be our top premier players, they are very important members of our club and community. This week, we are lucky enough to meet three players from the prestigious Eastern Suburbs Nuggsy side.
Hi, my name's Ben. I've been playing at Eastern Suburbs since I was 5 years old. I've played a few different positions in my time, but we've decided that I can do the least damage to the team at left back. In my spare time, I've got a young baby called Franklin, and I've also got a bar and restaurant in Pakuranga called Applejacks. And I also like watching basketball.
Nice to meet you, Ben. Thanks for coming on the show tonight.
No worries.
Hey, I'm Matt. I'm about 20 years older than everyone else in Nuggsy. At least it feels that way. I used to be bang average, but now I'm just really old and slow. Pretty sure the only reason these guys keep me around is because I'm the only one that can actually organise anything and pump up the balls for training. I've been with Suburbs for about 5 years now, and I've got two little kids now, 6 and 4, that are starting to get involved with the club as well, which is really cool.
Cool. Well, thanks for coming on the show tonight, Matt.
No worries. Thanks.
Thanks, Bonnie. Hi, my name is Dillon. I'm 26 and I've been with Suburbs for about 5 years. You'll find me on the left wing of a football pitch and you pretty much never find me anywhere else because the right side of my body doesn't work at all.
Fair enough. Well, welcome Dillon to the show. It's great to have you guys all here tonight. So what have you guys been up to? What's your life in lockdown look like? We'll start with you, Dillon.
Well, I haven't actually been locked down at all, working in essential service, so it's been the exact opposite. Been out and about basically the whole time.
Oh, good on you. It's kept you busy then.
Extremely, yeah.
It was actually quite good having 4 weeks off work, or at least not managing a whole bunch of people. Just surprisingly managed to keep busy with all the stuff that I hadn't done for the last year. So pretty much for the first 3 weeks was nearly full time, and then just cruised through the last week, which was nice. Lots of walks up at Cornwall Park with the kids twice a day. It got pretty old pretty fast, but that's literally all we could do.
Fair enough. And how about yourself, Ben?
As I mentioned, we've got a bar and restaurant in Pakuranga, so lockdown meant we had to shut down. But we sort of used that time to reevaluate where we were going and working on new things we could do. So we refreshed the menu and that sort of stuff. Did some staff training via Zoom, which was helpful. So it's been pretty productive. I try and avoid production as much as possible, but unfortunately it's had to happen through lockdown.
Good on you. Now, how much are you guys looking forward to getting back into footy? Have you been up to much footy? Obviously not over the last couple of months, but since the season ended last year? We'll start with you, Matt.
Well, we play a 7-a-side team once a week, so normally Thursdays. So I managed to keep that going pretty much all through the summer, but that was really about it. Yeah, it was good. It's always good to keep going and try and keep whatever sharpness I do have left.
And is that the same for you other two as well?
Pretty much, yeah. We play in the same team on Thursdays. I'm involved in a bit of the football fix 7-a-side stuff. I try to avoid going for a run where possible. So the last 8 weeks has been pretty tough because just no football at all. So I've turned into a bit of a blob. So it's been hard the last week and a half going back to the gym and trying to get some fitness back. So yeah, we're all looking forward to actually getting out and playing some football because it's exercise we actually enjoy.
Yeah, I'm on the same boat.
No, definitely looking forward to the competition and getting back into it, back into football. And we had a kick around with a lot of the Nuggsy team last weekend, I think. Yeah, we all I think died after like 10 minutes, but we'll get there.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
I think 10 is generous.
All right, so we're going to warm you up into the show tonight. We did this last week and it seemed to get everyone into the swing of things. So it's kind of like a would you rather or this or that. So I'm going to list a few things and you're going to say what you would prefer out of the two. So we'll go in the order of Ben and then Matt and then Dillon. What
Sweet.
you answer. All right. Would you rather rugby or league?
League.
Rugby.
League.
Messi or Ronaldo?
Messi.
Messi.
Messi. Oh, lucky. I was going to quit the team if either of you said Ronaldo, honestly.
Powerade or Gatorade?
Powerade.
Powerade.
Completely indifferent, but
That's not the game at all.
All right. Pizza or pasta?
Pizza, which is probably why I'm a blob from the last 8 weeks.
Oh, that's real tough. Pizza and pasta?
It's literally a would you rather. You can't say that. That's the one objective of the game.
If pick the one thing I can choose, I'll probably go pizza if I had to.
You do. That's the game.
Okay. Pasta.
yeah, pizza also.
Pizza. All right. Pet dog or pet cat?
See, I got both. I've already ripped Matt out for not picking one, so I'll go pet cat.
Dog.
Yeah, it has to be dog.
I got two
All right.
cats, and I'd rather have one dog.
Would you rather go back to high school or back to primary school again?
I was a loser on both. I'll probably go primary school.
Go high school because I might have a chance of being cool this time.
Don't oversell yourself.
I think primary school. I don't even remember primary school. Nice to remember it.
Do you remember high school?
All right, last one. Would you rather be a famous singer or a famous actor?
I think actor. If you're a famous singer, people just ask you to sing stuff all the time, but they can't ask you to act something specific. So yeah, go actor.
Actor as well.
Go singer.
Oh, yeah, good one, Dillon.
That's why you're on the left wing, I guess.
Now, the fans want to know a little bit more about this Nuggsy team. So what's kind of the environment like in this team? Is it a competitive side, social side? What's the go here?
We'd like to think that we're still competitive. We play in a reasonably high league, so Div 1, the AFF. So there's some pretty good teams in our league, which makes it fun.
Cool. And so it's not, so you're there to win. Where did the name Nuggsy come from?
That's all Matt.
Nuggsy's from the grade cricketer. So there's this washed up character that the grade cricketers write about called Alan Nuggsy, and they just called him Nugget, but they didn't know that he was actually French. And his nickname's Nuggsy, and he's just a horrible, horrible person, which I thought summed up this team well, especially being in it.
Fair enough. So we'll start with you, Ben. How long have you kind of been involved with Eastern Suburbs, and what's been kind of like perhaps your favourite memory?
I've been involved since as long as I can remember, really. My dad used to be the director of football, and then he's sort of been the junior chairman, and then been the chairman as well. So sort of just always played at Suburbs. I guess my favourite memory, I mean, without sounding like I like these guys too much, this is definitely the favourite team that I've played in. I think it's got a good mixture of guys that all want to play together. We hang out with each other outside of football, have a few beers, which I guess what social football is all about. We do like to take it seriously when it comes to the games on Saturday, and we know that things can get a bit heated during the game, but after the game it's all pretty chill again, and we're all mates again. So I guess this is probably the highlight of my career, which is very, very sad.
That's awesome to hear. And for you, Matt?
I've been with Suburbs for 5 years. So I had a few years off in between when my first kid was born, and then joined Suburbs, which was lucky because they were the only club that actually emailed me back. I felt really wanted to come here, and it's been great. It's an awesome club. I love the environment of the club, and lucky enough to end up in this team.
Awesome.
We did manage to kick you out for a year or so, didn't we?
Yeah, I had another year off when Theo was born as well.
When is your next kid?
Yeah, that's probably not happening.
Damn.
Hopefully not anyway.
Look
Two's
around for a little
plenty.
bit longer.
Got to try and break it to him some way else, Dillon.
And for you, Dillon, how long have you been involved in the club, and what's been your favourite memory?
I've only been there about 4 or 5 years, but I've only played about 3 or so, several seasons really. I'm originally coming over when Mark Holt was coaching a few years ago, and played a bit of first team reserve sort of mixed around then. That was actually a good season. We got promoted, and there's a couple of really nice people to play with. Reece Rooker, Nick Robson, to name a couple, who were particularly nice to play with. But like being said, I think actually the banter and the enjoyment in the Nuggsy team has been actually my most enjoyable time at Suburbs. Yeah, good fun in this team.
It's funny you mentioned Nick Robson, because after he played with you for a season, he left the country to go to Bali and has just gone off all social media. I heard it was so you can't contact him anymore.
Is this true, Dillon?
It's coincidental, really. He did used to ask me about tax law during trainings. I must have bored him to death.
Looking at your entire football career, you guys are pretty experienced players now. What would you say has kind of been your ultimate highest achievement or highlight in your footy career? We'll start with you, Dillon.
Scored a goal with my right foot one time.
No one believes you, Dillon. No one believes you.
No, it's probably junior stuff that sticks with me. I think I used to be a lot better as a junior. Just top goal scorer type things. But in the senior bits, haven't had huge accolades. But my junior time was more of a highlight the pinnacle of my career, actually.
Good on you. And for you, Matt?
It's kind of a hard one. I've just always really enjoyed playing. I've always enjoyed pretty much all of the teams that I've ever been in. But I guess the highlights of when we were 7th form, we won first 11 comp in Dunedin, which was pretty cool. Then I played in the reserves and first teams of quite a few clubs around the country, which has been Auckland and Dunedin, but which has been always good fun to be involved in that when you're able to.
Awesome. And for you, Ben?
I'm just really happy to still be playing, really. Like I look at a lot of the people that I played with when I was younger, and they were all better than me growing up, but a lot of them sort of fell out of love with the game or decided to stop playing for various different reasons. And I'm I'm pretty happy to still be committed to playing football as often as I am, and still enjoying it when I go out there and play. In terms of like individual achievements, I don't have anywhere near as many as what a lot of them have, but to still be out there enjoying it and playing every week, I'm pretty proud of that.
Cool. And Ben, you're lucky enough to have your dad super involved in the club. He was your coach back in the day. What's it been like being so closely involved with him and growing up within the same football club?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think, especially growing up, like he was my coach every single year up until I think probably 11th or 12th grade, and then he took it back on at 14th and 15th grade, I think. And it was really helpful. I mean, a lot of everything that I've learned about football, I learned from him. It sometimes was hard. You turn up to training sometimes when you're 9, 10, 11 years old to sort of hang out a little bit, but you can't really do that when your dad's watching you every step of the way. And the conversations in the car about why were you doing this at a particular point in training did get a bit tedious and old at times. But it's really, really cool to know that he's sort of been alongside me all the way. And I know that he comes down and watches whenever he can. And it's been really enjoyable just knowing that I can have someone to talk to about football whenever I want. And he sort of can give me a bit of a different perspective on things sometimes as well, because he was a lot better than I was.
That was going to be my next question. Who scrubbed up a better player, yourself or your old man?
Definitely him. He actually played a season with this Nuggsy team before we were called Nuggsy, when we were called Bish. And I think one of the highlights was last minute we were 1-1 against Ellerslie, and I crossed the ball across, and he would have been, how old is he now? 70. He would have been probably 48, and he scored a bicycle from just at the top of the box to win it for us 2-1. So that's probably a highlight in terms of the Bish Nuggsy team. And I've never even got that far off the ground before, and to be able to do that at 48, that was pretty impressive. So definitely him. I'm not even going to try and stake a claim there.
Yeah, you've got nowhere near that ability.
Now, for you, Dillon, what's kept you at the club? Why do you stay at Suburbs, and what do you enjoy about the club?
He doesn't pay his fees. We won't let him transfer out.
That's a barrier, but no, like as I mentioned earlier, it's just the people you're around. I took a bit of a break, and then Ben approached me and was like, "Why don't you come play for this team we've got?" And
I think begged is probably a better term than approached.
Yeah, Dillon filled in for us a couple of times. It's like, man, why doesn't that guy playing for us?
We've got your brother hostage. Better come down and play next week.
But no, it's just every time it's so much banter. I spend 50% playing, 50% laughing, so that I think it's just the fun. You lose the fun, there's no point really playing. So
Good on you. Fair enough. And Matt, you have 2 kids at home, as you mentioned earlier. Can you tell us what that's like, kind of showing them football and the sport that you love so much?
It's pretty cool. They right into Liverpool, which is awesome. We had a countdown of games we needed to win on the fridge before COVID hit. So I'm not sure where that's gone, but I'm going to have to get that back out. So it's really cool. It's funny watching them though when they're so little, because Inca is so nice. She's got no physical competitiveness in her whatsoever. If like somebody else wants the ball, she's perfectly willing for them to have it. And Theo, basically, if someone takes the ball off him, that's it. He just gets real angry and gives up. He's done. So it's kind of like, yeah, it's funny watching them at that age.
So Theo just needs to work the late kick into his game, and he's just a replica of you, really.
Honestly, you want to see him on the trampoline, and when the ball's on the trampoline, he just full on 2 foots it. It's scary at 4 years old to what he's going to be able to do when he's 18.
To be fair, he's the size of a 12-year-old.
He's actually pretty small.
Is it just the head size?
He's got a massive head though. He'll probably grow onto it.
he'll be a player to watch then. Now, we're moving away from these serious questions. You can relax off a bit. We had a few fan questions come in. One was asked,
How was my mum?
how does your team celebrate after a big win?
It usually involves talking our centre back Dan Backman down off the ledge because he's usually absolutely spewing at our striker for some inane reason which no one has remembered. And then usually we try and head into the club rooms and have a beer and watch the first team if possible. But if we lose, it's not quite as pretty.
No, it can get pretty nasty if we lose.
Yeah.
Right, and so you would consider your team a 50-50 social and competitive at the same time. What kind of defines the social aspect for you? Is it the relaxed training or all being really good mates, or what is it?
With the work rate. I mean, everything else I feel is super competitive. We always, on the sidelines, there's often first teams, reserve, whatever teams playing next to us, and we look over and say, yeah, we could take them.
To be fair, that's complete arrogance. That's not
No, but just illustrating, we are a competitive bunch. So I think, what would you guys put it? 90-10? 90 competitive?
No, I think if we were 90 competitive, some of us would go for a run during the week. So
yeah, that's the work rate part.
All right, we're going to move on to the quiz that we have in the show. It's been a pretty prestigious quiz. We've got a ladder that gets released each week, like top of the charts kind of thing. So I'm going to list 7 questions and we're going to see who can answer them correctly and the fastest. And whoever wins will hopefully end themselves on the top of the charts. So what I need you to do is you need to make a buzzer noise, like it might be like a clap or like or something like that. And then I'm going to let the person answer, whoever's the fastest to make the noise.
I knew I should have got Nick on. This would have been an easy win.
Can you hear this? Is that?
Yep, that's good.
Okay. That's mine.
All right.
I'm just going to yell really loud.
All right, ready? What sport does Roger Federer play?
Yeah.
That was Ben.
Tennis.
Oh, no way. That was definitely me.
This shouldn't count. Everyone gets a point. It's too easy.
Okay, ready? 1-0. Where did Eastern Suburbs National League team travel to in February for the OFC?
Yeah.
That was Ben.
Papua New Guinea.
Good, 2-0.
Losers.
Ready?
Definitely got the first one.
What is the name of the cowboy of Toy Story?
Eh.
Ben.
Woody.
I think your computer's just faster. There's just no way.
My computer matches my skill on the pitch, Dillon, just faster than everyone else.
What's your answer, Ben?
It was Woody.
That was my answer.
Okay, come on, Matt.
What happens if it's a pantsing, Bonnie?
Pardon?
What happens if it's a pantsing?
Or you have to mute yourself.
All right. Which country's flag has a red maple leaf?
Yes.
Ben.
No way!
You guys are losers.
No way!
It's
Canada.
Total stitch up.
It's noise
Bonnie,
in the
Total
loud.
stitch up.
Bonnie, I'll have the $20 for you later, all right?
All right. Sounds good. All right. That's 4-0. This is a tough one. Who was the Eastern Suburbs women's team golden boot for the last 2 years running?
Eh.
Ben.
No, I want to say Jade.
Yes, that is correct. Jade Paris. Well done. This is a clean.
Actually, step it up, boys.
Ruffell.
Step it up.
That's the first one I didn't know, to be fair.
Yeah, same.
Okay.
And it's the only one you got first as well.
Okay. What's 5 times 5?
Eh.
Oh, man.
We'll give Matt that answer.
This is a sympathy one. Go on, Matt.
Thank you. 25.
All right, and last question. Who won the FIFA Women's World Cup in 2019?
I'm just going to sit back on this one. You guys have this.
Can you repeat the question?
Who won the FIFA Women's World Cup in
Eh.
2019? Matt,
USA.
well done. All right, I think Ben
least I got two, Dill.
was about 5-2.
5-2, Bonnie, if you're keeping
5-2.
score at home. Yeah.
Hard luck, well done.
A consolation
I
one
didn't
at the
lose.
end, Matt.
I will take that
Got
$20 later as well, please. All right, we've just got a couple more questions before we end the show tonight. Bonnie's burning questions, of course. We can't go a show without them. I want to know who in the Nuggsy team spends the most time on social media.
Ooh.
If we include Reddit, that's Ben.
Probably say Ben as well.
Yeah, I'll probably have to cop that.
I can
Fair enough.
message him 24/7 on Snapchat, replies within 5 seconds.
I've just got nothing else to do.
All right, and other than New Zealand, if you could play for an international country's team, football team, what country would you want to play for? What national side?
England, but I could play for them technically.
Oh, cool.
Wow, I qualify.
Ability.
I couldn't actually ever play for them.
I mean, I'd go Spain, just personally like their style, just playing style.
We'll go for the Ivory Coast. Just get Zahar on the wing, and I'll just knock it up to him.
Good on you. All right, well, folks, that is the Suburbs on Sunday show. That'll do us just nicely for this week. We trust you have enjoyed the show here tonight with our very special guests. We would love your input and requests for the future, so leave comments below and let us know. Again, many, many thanks to my guests, Ben, Dillon, and Matt, and all of you guys at home for watching. Next week, we have 2 new exciting guests, so make sure you come back Sunday, 7 p.m, premiering live on Facebook. If you know someone who is keen, email sundayshow@esafc.org.nz and let us know if they want to come on the show.
Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
And follow us on Instagram and Twitter.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel, ESAFC TV.
You're a
Good
natural.
one. Nailed it. All
Do that
right.
again
That
if
was
you
shocking,
want.
that one. Yeah, I might do that one again. Is that all good?
No redos.
You nailed it. Thanks heaps, guys, and hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll see you guys later. Thanks for coming on the show.
Cheers, Bonnie. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thanks, Bonnie.
Thanks,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
See you later.